Good morning. This is Just Listen, hosted by George Goodman. Welcome to the podcast. Wow, it was a little dark there at first, but we got it. I'm broadcasting from a hotel. Recently moved. Okay, so let's get down to the podcast, and please subscribe. I know my numbers are a little weak. I've made some further changes, trying to get people excited for the midterms. And they may be excited, but I don't know about it. I always ask questions and why people aren't interested. One of the big things is because if you listen to the mainstream media, it's always so negative and attacking this person, attacking other people as well. And that just turns us off as humans. So I get it. All elections are important. This one is no different in Illinois, and people living in Southern Illinois need to have the facts and then go and vote. Because I always hear from people that they get so frustrated that they just don't vote at all. And I will tell you, in Southern Illinois, we have the numbers to change the outcome of elections. Now, I'm going to tell you what's happening, and then I want to solicit your help for something. So, um, what's happening big this week is there's a national spotlight on Chicago, legal fallout for the governor's immigration agenda, and my impression 100 days out from the upcoming midterm elections. All right. So that just meant that people are starting to question the immigration policy in the state. And also, that translates into the U.S. Senate seat and also the House of Representatives seats as well. So we're all wondering why there's no national spotlight on Illinois, or more so specifically me. Governor Pritzker is actually the keynote speaker there. And I guess that they're banking on people who haven't been here long, who are here legally, who I guess can vote in the state election because for governor, they can vote for sure. For the U.S. Senate and the Congress, uh, I think if they're here legally, maybe. I'm not sure. I need to look that up. I should know that. Okay. So, um, moving forward, um, the other candidates are just talking about the same thing. There was one thing that happened. So, there was a legal defeat for the Pritzker administration. U.S. District Judge ruled that key Illinois laws providing in state tuition, financial aid, and scholarships to undocumented immigrants, specifically the RISE Act and the Illinois Dream Act, are unconstitutional. That is huge. And you heard it here from first from me that the courts matter. This is a prime example. So, what I'm saying in 10 words or less is uh, when you vote, it matters. It matters who you elect. And also, the courts will weigh in and keep it fair. We we get frustrated, so that was overturned. Okay. So the in-state tuition, financial aid, and scholarships to undocumented immigrants. Now, listen, if you are a legal immigrant, that changes the status. So be careful when you hear the mainstream media in Illinois talking about it, because they're just kind of gloss over and say, well, yeah, they said the immigrants can't vote. That's not what they're saying. It's undocumented. Details matter. And then while the permanent injunction prevents enforcement, the judge granted a 14-day stay to allow the state to appeal the decision. And that's how it is in most of these cases. So here locally, told you that the Republican nominee is campaigning hard and trying to get some airtime, I guess. It's tough to do that because you have to have money. And if you look at, I was looking at this morning how Michigan, they are set to spend the most money ever in a Senate race ever. Now, that's a pretty high bar to meet in the first place. The reason that I mention it is Illinois was vulnerable and nobody knows it. On the Democratic side, the candidate is pretty progressive. Example, wanting to abolish ICE, wanting to have a federal minimum wage, those types of things. And the minimum wage, I get that, and maybe they should talk about it. But also, you have to look at what would be the effect of that, because Illinois is at $15 an hour, and I don't know, seems to be going okay. I haven't heard anybody complaining about it. Small businesses, though, that would run them out of business because they have to make a profit to stay in business. And so that was their objection in the first place. Now there's something happening in Madison County. So the Madison County Board advanced an advisory referendum to the November ballot asking residents if Illinois should require a photo ID to vote, triggering fierce debate between local Republicans and voting access advocates. So now we have a new word or a new label, voting access advocates, which basically mean if you show up, you can vote. Now, I want to do a podcast about people registering to vote and how that process works. Because as far as I know, when you initially register to vote, you have to provide proof that you are who you say that you are in the first place. And so when I show up on election day, as long as I have my voting card, I've established my identity. So people who say no to photo ID, well, if you made some valid point like that, and I'm not taking any sides on it, people would listen to that. People like logic. Tell me why. And then you could say, well, who are we actually talking about? People who's show up that day to vote and just say, when I live at this address. Well, that's different than saying that anybody who comes in, we don't know who they are. So that's something to think about. So that's why and I'm starting something new here, a moderate independent, which means I want to analyze what's said, be specific in Illinois, and give people the facts. And then you don't have to tell people things 100 times. They get it after the first or second time and let them decide. But we've come full circle now. And I want to plug the Attorney General position in the state of Illinois on the Republican side. If we are serious about starting change, that's where we would start at to vote that position red. And I gave you an example of why that's important. They just overturned a law that the legislature and the governor had signed. That's how it works. You know, talking about it, being angry, going after people, that doesn't work. What does work is when you have a judge say, yep, you're right, they shouldn't have been doing that. That violates the Illinois state constitution, and you win. That's what the start is. So plug it again, and I'm going to keep plugging it. Vote red or Republican for the Attorney General in Illinois. Okay, so that's all the time that I want to have right now. And I didn't come on Friday. I was moving then. And I want you to have a good week. Talk to somebody that you wouldn't normally talk to. Share ideas. But when it's said, respect the other person's opinion if they disagree. We used to do that. We didn't get all excited or try to take people out. So remember that. Remember, in the US, we need each other. So have a great day, and I will talk to you on Friday. Have a great day.